Equality of outcome is more important than equality of opportunity. Go. Or you could stay on the line. You take your time. Take all the time you want. Up to 30 seconds. I thought it was funny too as a joke. Nobody laughed. And don't worry where anybody else stands. Just you stand wherever you think is true. Are you still thinking, or is that your place? You're good? Okay. Wow, great. Okay. Why? Tell us why you stood there. Eris will come around with the mic if you want. Anybody want to tell us why you stood there?
I need some time to frame my arguments.
All right, sure. Take your time. Do you want to?
Some time to frame.
He'll go.
Oh, yeah. I think why I stand on strongly disagree is because I feel outcome is directly correlated to opportunity.
I agree. Yep.
And if you will only achieve equality of outcome if you have equality of opportunity. Today, if we have a majority of professors in mechanical engineering who are male, right? For example, at least that's my personal experience. That clearly shows to me that not enough women or people of color have been given opportunity within that field, and that is why the outcome is the way it is. So I feel opportunity leads to an equal outcome.
Okay, I'm coming back to you for that, but let's go. Well, I want to know why she switched first.
Because if you don't get the opportunity to participate in something, then you can't really get an outcome, right? So you need to have that opportunity to participate too.
You can clap. That's very good. So did you move because of something he said?
No, I just realized that there is no point of an outcome without an opportunity. So I just realized that there is no...
Oh my God, everybody's migrating over. Okay. What, really? Okay, can we go to him? Why did you move?
I guess I needed a little bit of clarification on what specific outcomes we were talking about. So I wasn't sure what specific context we were talking about. So this helped give me a little bit more context in framing my mind.
And is there something that they said that caused you to, you walked over 2 lines.
Yeah, like having you need the opportunity to participate before, to even know what the outcome is. So I think that, that seems reasonable.
Did you want to say something?
So I think we can take the example of maternity leave in workplaces. That's the example that first occurred to me. I feel like, yes, if suppose we were giving outcome more importance than opportunity, then less women would have an incentive to even bear kids, right? And if this continues in a long run, that'll be a big setback for the world we're living in. There won't be new generations anymore. But at the same time, I didn't stand on this strongly disagree because I feel like it could be very easily taken out of context and be misused in terms of classifying someone as a special group or just saying that they need to have an opportunity regardless of how their outcome could be. So I'd rather not stand in the strongly disagree. And I see that it is being taken like this statement of how opportunity should be given more importance than outcome is being overused, and people are taking advantage of it to label themselves as different or let go of their duties is being done in today's society. So I'd rather not stand on strongly disagree.
Okay. So this is a super difficult question that you knew was going to come. This question was inevitable, particularly to this line. What would it take you to move one line to the right?
It would make me move to the other side.
Well, something would have to make you move to the right. I mean, you have to...
I don't know, when I was standing on this line, I was thinking about reasons about why was I on the disagree line instead of the strongly disagree, and I really couldn't think of any reason why I should have just
What about if I give you a reason? What about if the reason were there's no way you can you could increase the equality of opportunity, given that so many people of certain minority groups have been historically oppressed, and the vestiges of those oppression in society. But I'm going to drill down, if you don't, one more thing. So that, for example, African Americans have not had an opportunity to build wealth the way that white Americans have. And if you could show that, you deny people equality of opportunity by giving some people more opportunities, for example, people who have been historically denied financial or investment opportunities, and if you could show that by doing that, you would help those communities develop wealth, would that cause you to move to the disagree line?
No, I don't think so, because I think I would have to give them the benefit of doubt here. And I think there are talented people in every community. The way I took this question was, in a sense, okay, so the world is a geopolitical race. And if we talk about which country is the strongest and which country has more influence over the others, we are just looking at the outcomes. We are not looking at the number of opportunities a country has. There are like so many underdeveloped countries in the world where people have not been given enough opportunity to express themselves fully, to reach their full potential. Like there are so many, in underdeveloped countries, people are not educated. So what if they had the tool of education? What if they had the knowledge?
It's a great argument. Yeah, it's a great argument.
Yeah, so I don't think, I think everyone is talented in their own way, and we should just level the playing field for once. And I'm sure that people would come up and they would, do something for themselves.
All right. Oh, yeah, please.
But how would you ensure that the playing field is leveled, especially in extreme situations or something that, or like people or groups of people that don't follow a norm? So how would you define what is an equal playing field in every situation? Don't you think that's too idealistic?
I am an idealistic in some sense. I am that sort of a person who believes that what if the world was an ideal place? So I don't know. It's just my personal opinion. Again, these questions are like pretty much open-ended. The way I took this question was in a sense of education, because I think education is a very strong tool to develop yourself and gain more opportunities. So I took it that way, because some people are not even given the opportunity to educate themselves. They are denied schooling. They are forced into labor. They are forced into marriages. They are forced into war. So they're not given the opportunity to gain an education to do something. So I guess I took that question in this sense. And I guess if we provide equal opportunities to children, then I guess that would level up the playing field in some sense, I guess.
Maybe after.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that could make me change, only because I feel that if you focus on the equality of outcome without first solving the equality of opportunity, your outcome is insincere. Because, for example, let's say we want to show that the new batch of investment bankers that came in for the year of 2022 for Goldman Sachs has, 20% people of color, the rest are white or, Asian. Then that means that 20% that actually did were afforded opportunities to be in that position that a lot of them were not given. And if you truly want an equality in outcome and not an insincere one, you need to solve the problem, which is giving everybody the opportunity. Or you're forcing people who don't really deserve to be there to be there.
Yeah, that's a fascinating point. Yeah, I like that too. I'm going to clap at that too. Yeah, I think that idea of sincerity in the question is so important, and it's overlooked. It's often overlooked.
I really like what both of you guys said. Something that came into my mind after thinking about it for a little bit was like historical redlining districts, right? Actually, where we are right now, Lafayette and West Lafayette, this is a perfect example. There's a river separating these two cities, and there's the people who live here, the kind of background they have, the opportunities that they have, the things that they do are vastly different. The people who live over on the west side are more wealthy, more educated. The school systems are well funded because a lot of professors live here, so they're able to fund their schools more. People who live on the south side across the river, a lot of schools there don't have the same opportunities that schools over in the west side do. People who live there are poor, and that contributes to that. And so, yeah, I mean, if they're not granted the same opportunities, it's hard to expect
The same outcomes.
same outcomes. Yeah.
Right. Anybody else have a comment? Anybody? Oh, yeah, he has a comment. Okay.
No, that's really fascinating, but I wonder what we're really talking about opportunity, because the example you just gave, the people on whatever side of the red line it is have complete agency and opportunity to get up and move, and we know that, especially when you start talking about the differences between, I hate the term people of color, but if you start talking about things like Latin American immigrants versus first generation versus, say, some communities of Black Americans, right? Immigrants of a lot of groups outpace a lot of people in one generation. So I guess I want to push back and kind of clarify the question of what is opportunity in your mind. Because there's nothing stopping anyone from getting up and moving.
Is that okay? So now I'm going to push back on your pushback. Is that really true, though?
Is what part true?
The fact that there's nothing preventing people from getting up and moving, like
Yes.
lack of money is preventing people from getting up and moving.
No, I think that resources can be pooled. I think that there's enough government resources and opportunities for people to. They may have to make sacrifices, but you can make sacrifices to do that thing. And I mean, I can point to a lot of different examples where people have done that.
All right, I'll let these guys have a go.
I just wanted to respond to you on the, you mentioned something about like immigrants, right? A lot of immigrants who in the U.S. are successful. I think something that's often overlooked is a lot of the immigrants who make it here are a very selective group. The U.S. is very selective in the kind of people that they want to move here. Typically, those who are, the U.S. Does give opportunity to people to move here based on their merit. And so that's probably also why you're seeing a lot of immigrants who are successful, because they often do come from backgrounds with more opportunities, whether that's wealth or, quality of education.
But that's not true for Latin American immigrants. That's true for Asian and African immigrants, but it's not true for Latin American immigrants.
Well, she had something. Comment.
I just wanted to expand on the immigrant thing. I think opportunities also come in different perspectives. I don't know. So what seems like a normal thing to me would seem like a wonderful opportunity to someone who is living in a very different circumstance. Like, I'm going to classes and sometimes I don't like my classes. So it's a very forceful problem for me, but some people don't have the opportunity to go to classes. So I think why immigrants sometimes thrive in the US is because when I see immigration, I think no one wants to immigrate. They immigrate because they want to come out of a place where they don't get enough opportunities. And they often look for greener pastures. No one wants to leave home. It's a forced situation for everyone, I think. And when they come to a country like the United States, where there is some freedom to express yourself freely, there is freedom to get an education, there are like so many different opportunities. You could do anything you want to. So I guess they see this opportunity as a chance to make the best out of everything. So I guess opportunity, I don't know.
No, I think that was clear. Yeah, I think it was good. Yeah.
I want to ask you too, do you think opportunities are limited or not?
Again, that depends on the person, right? Some people are just happy with the way life is. They don't want to improve anything. But some people constantly look for loopholes, problems in the system. So I guess that depends on person to person. Some people are very happy with the system here, but some people are not. They want changes. So I guess that depends on the person you're asking that.
Do I believe that opportunities are a commodity? Sure, I mean, you can have infinite of anything. However, at the same time, I do believe that if you have a platter, let's say, and you have like 10 slices, but you only let one group get to them before the other group does, that's not equality of opportunity. Yes, there are 10 slices, but if you let everybody go there, the first 10 people who get there will get it. And you probably will have a more fair distribution as compared to segregating and letting only selective people have access to it. But that's my answer. Do I believe it's a commodity? Yes, but it can be distributed more fairly.
See, in a society, it's you and I who create opportunities or take an opportunity and use it to get a certain outcome. So if we really start giving outcome equality, so if we start recognizing each person's outcome according to their competence, don't you think that that is what will motivate anyone to, if someone's really competent and their competence is being given recognition, the recognition that it needs to, don't you think they have the power to go and create opportunities? So in that case, the equality of outcome is more important than the equality of opportunity.
Think so, because if that person is competent and let's say they want to create more opportunities, they want to start a business, then the ease of doing business in that area would really affect how that person would change the life of others around them, I guess. Because okay, let's say,
Okay, sorry, go ahead. I don't want to cut you.
can you like elaborate on?
Yeah, so take person A, person B, and take one task. If person A is more capable in doing that one task than person B, and we are looking at we are giving recognition to the outcome, their outcomes, we are appreciating their outcomes either by giving them more returns or whatever. Don't you think person A will automatically come up and create opportunities in that field before person B does, and maybe person B will go somewhere else? And if really that recognition is not being given and all we focus on is about giving opportunities, like this person is being mistreated or that person is like this group of people should get an opportunity no matter what. If we divert those resources or that energy to fully recognize and all the results that people are achieving, in that case, don't you think opportunities will be created if importance to outcome is the equality for outcome is given importance?
I think sometimes I've been in situations where I have outperformed someone, yet I didn't get the opportunity to do something. And that really depends on where I am. I don't know. So,
What,
About the creation of opportunities. You and I create opportunities.
but if I'm not getting appreciated, then why would I go out and create more opportunities?
That's the need for equality of outcome.
No, if I'm outperforming someone and I'm not getting appreciated for it, that's because I'm not getting enough opportunity to be myself. I don't know.
Exactly. Equality for outcome.
I'm talking about equality for opportunity. We're on.
Oh, wait.
what we got him for. All right.
So the thing is that, I mean, like, wouldn't that heavily skew the opportunities that everyone gets? It's about, like, I mean, having enough infrastructure that everyone has a fair shot to anything, so that, like, if you want to create opportunity, more power to you, go for it. But, like, if someone needs one, like, it should be equitable around, like, this should be fair, that if you are creating opportunity, good for you. I don't have to allocate resources to you now because you already have that idea. But, like, people who want one, who need one, like, they should have the availability of those resources at the back, right? That's the idea I think that we are dealing with, then to, like, skew the thing.
He had a question.
Yeah, I think, and correct me if I'm getting this wrong, you are saying that focus on equality of outcome to begin with, so that person can create a pathway for everybody that has similar characteristics to them, no matter what those characteristics are. have an opportunity now because somebody did it because we forced an outcome before. I don't think that is the solution because you're starting with an insincere batch. One that is, if you have an outcome that is insincere, you will never get whatever change or revolution you feel from it that will be genuinely sincere and equal.
Yeah,
If
and
anything, it'll be tribalistic.
Right, and say why. I agree with you, but explain why.
Well, because, let's say that to force an outcome where we have all races equally shown in a category, let's say we want educators, future educators of America, we want all races to be equally represented in there. That's an outcome that we truly wish to have. And that if we try to force it before we actually give people of all races equal opportunity to pursue that career, then what's happening is the people who are actually being given that opportunity are not the best candidates. And those not best candidates will not create the best opportunity as it is. So you've already put different levels to everybody else.
Can I ask you a question? Sure. Why do we want that exact percentage of people as educators to the population? Why is that a good thing?
Well, when I say we want a representation, I feel like it should represent like their actual, like, I don't want to say content percentage because that just sounds so insensitive. But if we have 10% of the population that is from Latin America or Latin,
Then you're saying we should have 10% of the population. Why?
because I think it shows that all of our institutions and our structures are reflective of the society that we live in, and that
Everything should be that way.
it should be reflective.
In every job in society.
I think most jobs in society could be that way unless you're talking about very specific instances, which I can't name. So
We have to wrap up pretty soon, but we're going to give her the last word.
I think what they said comes from the perspective of where we are at right now. As college students who are about to graduate in the next 1 or 2 years, we are looking at a big company and having jobs, which are opportunities, or maybe when you said about education. But also, if you look at the rudimentary way of how a society is designed, there are monopolies only because there are not many people creating more opportunities and dividing that power that is there in each industry, right? So why cannot, if outcome is being given as much importance or more as equality, I'm still on disagree because I think it's the other way around. But I'm just asking you this question about, don't you think if you give equality of outcome a little more importance, maybe we could eliminate the monopolistic power or the limited opportunities and create more, is what I'm saying.
If you don't want to answer, I think you want. I'm going to give you, and I lied. I'm going to give you last word.
So the thing is that with monopolies, if you talk about them, they create barrier to entries. Like if you are a monopolistic company, you would want, if you're Google, let's regard, they want to do search, all of search. They are actively creating barriers to entry to ensure that you don't have the opportunity to take over them. Once they have the opportunity, they consolidate the stuff out of it. They are Google now. I will Google something. That's a monopoly right there because Yahoo doesn't has that, opportunity anymore to have servers in under the sea or the International Space Station in India, in the US. That's how monopolies function. So having split up where people can have the opportunity to go out and venture out. Monopolies intrinsically stop people from having more opportunities. They want one outcome. They win. That's how they work.
All right, Tashir, that was so. I'm going to give you want an opportunity because I did tell you you'd have last word. Do you want to say something or no? It's okay if you don't.
I could, yeah. I feel like you are taking Google as an example, and that's just one industry. Sure, you can go ahead, and then I don't know how.
That's okay. Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead, and then I'm going to give you the last word.
Yeah, my question is, why are you on the disagree line?
Because I think equality of opportunity is more important, but I fail to understand why you're on the strongly disagree.
But isn't that an argument for you to be on the somewhat disagree? No?
Because I'm not confused about why
Mike.
I disagree. I'm not confused about why I disagree.
Okay. You know what's really interesting to me about this conversation is that this is the disagree and strongly disagree line. I mean, the conversation has sounded like it's someone from the other universe over there.
No.
No, but she disagrees, but she just doesn't strongly disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
I'm trying to see if I should move that way or make you move this way.
This is like the first time where I am actually understanding the difference between strongly disagree and disagree.
Right.
That there is a huge difference between
Yeah, it's
strongly
interesting,
disagree.
isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it is interesting.
So it really makes you think, if there's a strong difference between these, could you imagine the political polarization we have in the United States now?
Yeah.
When we have some people way over there and the strongly agree and the agree. I mean, that's a gulf that's like incommensurable. It's almost unbridgeable. It's like the people are speaking English, but the mindset is so fundamentally different. And so the trick is, how do we start talking to each other again so we can close those gaps? Now, you want the last word. Okay.
No, I just think if I had to clarify why I'm not willing to move this way is we have in history we have seen many times that if we try to force an outcome that is truly equal, let's take a completely different view at equality, right? If we're trying to create a drug that can be used by everybody, right? Pregnant women, children, people of all ages, and we try to like create a drug that way so that that is our outcome, then we get mistakes such as thalidomide, and that is completely changed the way that we entirely viewed industries. It's more detrimental if we can't force an outcome that is truly equal, because in trying to do that, you're gonna cut corners, you're gonna walk over people who would genuinely make a difference, and you would end up with something that does more harm to society than others.
And the other thing is, nobody's going to trust the system because they won't believe that the people earn their positions on the basis of merit. So that will cause a crisis of legitimacy in the system, which is exactly what we see now. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you.